What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and I feel like I've been on a roller coaster ride lately with KOF. They've been putting some things here lately in the game to where we think, oh, this is going to happen. No, this is going to happen. And recently, we thought since we were getting this 10,000 rubies for this check-in log event, right? We're thinking, oh, this is going to be for a collaboration or SS or BS banner. Now we know it's definitely going to be for collab, but is it really for a collab? Well, here's the thing, guys. In the KOF forum, they actually posted this up right here. This is just a little snippet of what they had, but they're showing that the collaboration actually starts on the 26th of July. The third anniversary will start on the 26th of July. It is the 19th of June right now. And this event actually ends in another 19 days, which is well before the 26th of July, which means that we're not going to be using these rubies for the collaboration. So it looks like we're getting these 10,000 rubies for whatever, right? And I know there's going to be certain people that's going to feel a certain kind of way about this. I know I feel a certain way about this. And it's really going to depend on the kind of player you are, your perception of how things are in the game, where you are at in the game. So like if you're a whale, if you're a blubbery whale and you have all the card sets and you have all of the characters, you're going to be thinking to yourself, man, I could have used these rubies for the frickin' collaboration banner. And now I can't. So what am I going to use the rubies for? Well, I guess I could just maybe get some memories, maybe get some souls to salvage from the United banner. And really, that's about it, right? I mean, if you already have everything, that's really all you got to look forward to. And then you got the orcas, the dolphins out there, the moderate spenders, people that are spending a bit of money that have quite a bit of things, but they don't have everything. And they might look at this and think, well, you know, I can at least use it on the United banner, get some characters from here, maybe get some cards from the United banner, maybe finish out something. I mean, I'm a whale, but really for me on my veteran account, I really would have preferred this for the collaboration because I do have most of the characters leveled up and I do have most of the card sets. I do want one more Serena card set, but I would really prefer to have those 10,000 rubies for the collaboration. And I know that newer players, they're going to be ecstatic about having 10,000 rubies no matter what, because they're going to be able to take those rubies, even though they are on time restrictions, they're going to be able to take those rubies and spend it on these characters in hopes to get maybe a Fest character from the United banner or get a card set. I mean, like, because I play a free-to-play account, right? I have a new account that's a little over 2 weeks old now, and I play my whale account. I have like these two different perceptions of how I feel about this. Now, this isn't all set in stone. Just because the Korean forum put that out there doesn't mean that they're not going to do some kind of compensation, or give us, not really compensation, but give us some rubies for the third anniversary. I mean, this is the third anniversary, right? They gave us 30,000 rubies for the last anniversary. So, you know, I think people should be reserved on how this is, and it's not as bad as what it really looks. I mean, yeah, it can rub some people the wrong way a little bit, right? It can. You know, if you're a whale and you spent lots of money in this, or you just really would prefer just to use those rubies on collaboration characters, which I totally understand, because we all know that collaboration characters are freaking strong. We know that we're getting new game modes, and maybe those characters would be very, very relevant for those game modes, right? That's kind of the thing. We know this. We know that the United banner has really been left behind, which really could be a separate video in itself compared to the SS, the BS, and the collaboration characters. Those are the cream of the crop because, you know, the collaboration are very rare. They're very powerful. The SS and BS are very powerful. I'm not going to say they're rare because they're always going to be available in the game. Those collaborations are not collaborations, but those banners always come back. Whereas with collaboration, we don't know if they're going to come back. So far, we've only had one collaboration come back, which was Yentama. It showed up in the JP version, and then it ended up showing up in the global version later. But that's it. All of our other collaborations, Tekken, Sam Show, Seven Knights, and of course Seven Deadly Sins recently, have not came back. Which I do feel like some of them will come back, but we don't really know. There's nothing guaranteed when it comes to collaboration characters. So I understand those of you that are upset about this, but, you know, be reserved. Wait and see what we get for the third anniversary before we go jumping the gun and flipping out and going crazy. Because at the end of the day, this is free rubies. it can help a lot of players. I mean, again, man, if you don't have all of your card sets, you don't have a lot of characters in United Banner, it's still going to help you. It's still, I mean, and especially if you're a newer player, it's a massive, massive help to you. But I would prefer if it was for the collaboration characters because, again, we know they are the most powerful characters in the game. So I wanted to show you guys a little run against Immortal Most. And I will end up making an Immortal Most dungeon guide for you guys. But it's been a little while since we actually did a run against the Immortal Dungeon. And I actually did a run similar to this a while back where I used Nightmare Geese, and then I used Iori, and I used Geese Tower. Now, in Immortal Most, it's very, very important to have dot damage characters in here. I mean, if you click on here, see if we can click on this. I mean, you can actually go click on dot explosion here, and it will show you all of the characters that have dot explosion. Every one of these characters has dot explosion. You want one of those characters on each team, and what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to stun Immortal Most, which means that characters that have low survivability, they can actually do very, very well. I mean, I've done videos with Mary here, who's done very, very well. I've done videos where I use Lady Yashiro. I mean, these are characters that don't have immunities in their kits at all. They can take a lot of damage, but because you can stun Immortal Most, they can actually put in some serious, serious work, which is pretty amazing. I mean, we just recently got Lynn. You got Orochi Chris, who can still do very well against this. Leone, even though blue types have a disadvantage against this boss, you want dot explosion, something fierce. And really the best dot explosion character here, at least in my opinion, is Geese 14. If you have that 3PG for Nightmare Geese, he's going to be the best. I say number 2 is definitely going to be Eileen, then probably Halloween Chris. Or maybe Gentoki, to be honest. And as far as the builds on these characters, you know, I do have the 7 Knights card set on Geese. Just apply a little extra darkness, some extra shock damage. And then we do have Max Imprint Stones. This last stone is a double attack stone that has extra darkness to stack on that dot effect from his skills. And then we have Kyo. And Kyo does have the type advantage, so he is going to be an absolute god. He will be so insane for this, as you all will see. We have Max Imprint Stones, and then of course we have the Serena set. The Serena set he's really not going to be benefiting from as far as tagging in, because you don't tagging in this dungeon, but you do get the additional, you do get the increased attack by 13% on top of the 21%. It's a solid increased attack by 34%. You're not getting an increase in power or nothing like that. And I actually got some these cards on them. We're actually going to change those cards because you actually have to tag in to really get the benefits from them. So we're just going to go ahead and slap on these cooldown cards here. Let me see if I got one here. I'll put that one on. There we go. And then, of course, Geese 14. And Geese 14 actually has the Akane set on him. And as far as his imprint stones, I just have 2 imprint stones. I got the PG rate stone because Geese does have, I believe, 15% PG rate in his core. And with the PG rate from Nightmare Geese Leadership, that's 35% PG rate. But I really find that having, you know, 40% and above PG rate is really going to be a lot better. I think he's got 15%. Yeah, he's got 15% PG rate. But he has dot explosion. And so he's what's going to be stunning the hell out of Immortal Most. I mean, Geese's super armor only shows up every 13 seconds from doing blast skills. That's a core effect that he has. But he's an absolute godsend because he has that insanely long 3PG. And I do have Iori on the team. Now, you don't have to use SS Iori. You can put any other version of Iori except for Unshackled Iori or Orochi Iori on the team because Kyo's core effect, he'll get a lot more damage from having Iori on the team other than Orochi Iori or Unshackled Iori. So I do have Iori, SS Iori on the team just for that. But you're going to see that these guys can actually get the 500 million damage just on auto on the first team. That's right, on auto. That's what's going to be wild about this run. So I'm actually going to kick it on auto here since we get going. Yeah, let's go. And We'll kick that sucker on auto. Oh yeah. And now I just let it go. And honestly, you know, sometimes when it comes to these Immortal Dungeons, this is actually really, really nice, right? You know, I can just kick back, I can play my other games, and I can let this go, which is pretty amazing, guys, right? Because, you know, I do play like 5 mobile games on my devices, and I do use 2 different devices for my games. I mean, I can use an emulator also, but I'm usually just so busy playing all these games at once. And I know this isn't for everybody, right? Some people are going to prefer to manually play this, but I played Immortal Dungeons so much, and I know a lot of you out there, you played it so much, that whenever you can do things like this, and you can just let these characters play on auto like this and get the max score, it's pretty nuts though, right? It's really crazy. Unfortunately, you know, you do need Nightmare Geese, right? But I mean, if you have him at 3-star, and you have another 3PG for Geese 14, and you have Keo at 3-star, you're still going to be able to do freaking insane. And I imagine if you manually play, you're definitely going to do better when you manually play, because when you're playing on auto, you'll notice that they don't like spam the skills. They don't spam the skills at all. So while you're doing your 3PGs, you really want to be spamming your skills. I'm not, because all of these 3PGs for all 3 of these characters are insanely long. We do have these little gaps like right now where we're not doing our 3PG, but then all of a sudden Nightmare Geese does his 3PG. So we're just kicking back, we're relaxing, we're like, yeah, no problem, right? I mean, it's pretty cool. It really is, man. I can't do this with all of the Immortal Dungeons yet, but definitely with Immortal Most I can, because I do think he's really one of the easier Immortal Dungeons because of the fact that you can stun him from the dot explosion. That makes a big difference, you know. Characters that don't have super armor, they can actually keep doing their skills against this guy. I mean, think about it. If you're manually playing and you're spamming your skill on a character that doesn't have super armor, you're going to be building up your PG, and you're going to be able to do your 3PG much quicker, or your 5PG, whatever it may be, right? And that makes this pretty easy, very easy. I mean, right now we're hitting 270 million. We got 24 seconds left. Maybe we won't hit the 500 million. Sometimes I don't hit the 500 million. Sometimes it does have to carry over to the second team. But 9 times out of 10, usually I can hit the 500 million on auto with this team. They are nuts. And you see just like right there, you know, sometimes the AI, it takes a bit of time for it to kick in, right? For it to use the 3PG, for it to really go through the skills. Like you'll be watching and you're like, okay, I'm watching Geese right now. It took a little bit for them to use the skills. He did the 3rd skill, it's like, okay, a second or 2 goes by. Then he does the 1st skill, a second or 2 goes by. Then he does the second, well, I said the 2nd skill the first time. The 1st skill, then the 2nd skill. But a couple seconds go by every time they do their skills. So you're actually losing a lot of time and a lot of damage in letting it play on auto like this. But again, because this team's just so OP, because these PGs are so long on all 3 characters. I mean, really, when you're playing Immortal Dungeons, if you have 2 characters that can do very, very long 3PGs, you can usually do pretty amazing for most of these guys. But having 3 of them that have long 3PGs is nuts, guys. That's crazy. I mean, these guys are just, I mean, they're destroying it. And, you know, I never, ever get tired of watching these 3PGs. I love them so much. And as you guys can see, Nightmare Geese just croaked. He freaking bit the dust. This is another thing about playing on auto. And we just lost a lot of PG from Geese 14 right there. So let's see what happens. And so almost hit that 500 million with the first team. Unfortunately, Nightmare Geese did die. And that's kind of the thing about playing on auto. Sometimes they will die. But I do plan on making an Immortal Most dungeon guide for you guys. But today I just wanted to show you a run, just off the cuff, a super, super OP team that absolutely destroys this guy, even on auto. So let me know how you're all feeling about the Ruby event, the fact that we're more than likely not going to be able to use these 10,000 rubies for the 3rd anniversary, which is a bummer, but at the same time, people still can use these rubies for the United Banner. There are people that still want best characters from the United Banner, or they want cards from the United Banner. So in that respect, it's actually a good thing. But I know that a lot of us would have preferred it for the collaboration. So let me know how you're all feeling about that. Let me know how you're all doing against the Immortal Most. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.